Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your February 2022 general readings. We are looking at the first half of February, so from the 1st through the 15th, and this reading is for the air sign of Aquarius. Welcome everyone. As always, I hope you're doing well. Thanks for taking the time to be here and for all the support you give this YouTube channel, like, share, subscribes, reaching out for personal readings. Thank you. So, this reading is for Aquarius for the first 2 weeks of February 2022. If your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Aquarius, it's also relevant if you're cross-watching for an Aquarian. So watch all of your signs for any additional insight they might provide. And if something does resonate with you and you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, perhaps take a deeper look at something for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You'll find that by clicking the description link below, that little arrow. I can usually respond the same day with more information, as I do offer a wide variety of readings, including relationship compatibility readings and 6 and 12-month overviews, which give you a look ahead. So if you're interested, send me a message. I'd be happy to hear from you. Okay, Aquarius. Let's see what the first 2 weeks of February look like for you. I'm using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Legacy of the Divine. Okay, Aquarius, first we have the Five of Cups. This is a card of loss or grief or regret. Not all is lost, but the focus is on what is no longer there. You can see she's staring at the tipped over shattered cups, although there are still 2 cups full and upright behind her. With the Five of Cups, we have the Hanging Man. A sense of waiting, watching, waiting for something to play out. Perhaps gaining a different perspective. I mean, the Hanging Man represents a lack of movement or forward activity because you're watching something playing out. It doesn't actually represent that there's a stopgap or that the situation itself is not moving. This is somebody who has chosen not to act or simply can't act for the time being because they're watching, waiting, gaining information, different perspective, new information, while they're watching something playing out. Next, we have the Three of Wands, also a card that has a sense of waiting. Wands is governed by the element of fire, which is usually a very forward-moving and action-oriented energy. But of all the cards in the suit of Wands, the Three of Wands is the most gestative because it's about having done some of the footwork and now you're waiting to see what the results are or the rest of the results. It's seeing some of your efforts paying off and waiting quite optimistically to see what else is coming. With the Page of Coins. Pages can represent messages, and there is this sense of waiting here, Aquarius. Pages can also represent being at the beginning of an introductory path. This is the Page of Earth, which is the element which governs coins. So this may, for some of you, have something to do with the area of your life that impacts money or finances or material issues, or it might be in another area of life, but it has this impact on this area of life. Next, we have the Nine of Coins, independence, self-sufficiency, self-empowerment. This card represents the energy of somebody who has worked really hard to get to where they're at, and they're now enjoying the fruits of their labors because they can rely on themselves. They don't have to rely on anyone else. And so there's a sense of empowerment and self-confidence from that, particularly financially and materially. And with that, we have the Six of Swords, which is the card of healing, of moving perhaps slowly but surely away from a difficult or challenging time or place. And you're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're definitely moving. The worst is behind you. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the first half of February is the Hermit, which is a card that can represent taking some... it can represent feeling like you're alone, but there's a sense of kind of withdrawal or retreat while you're trying to perhaps gain some insight and clarity into a situation. Let's clarify. Let's clarify some of these cards. I'm getting this sense of loss or fear of loss of something that impacts your finances or material, the earth energy area of your life, stuff, the things in our life that make us feel safe and secure and stable, whether it's financial, material possessions, dollars and cents, long-term relationships. There's this sense here of either having lost something or fearing that you're going to lose something, how much that is and how you're going to recover from it. And again, this sense of kind of waiting for a decision. So let's clarify. Let's clarify the Hermit, perhaps feeling a bit alone in it. Or feeling like perhaps you've been shut out or other people are shutting you out because of this situation. Clarify the Hermit for overall energy. Justice. And the Three of Swords. So justice is about things working out fairly. This is a card that represents, reaping what you sow. It represents that the outcome of something will be based on, or should be based on, the efforts and actual actions and choices and decisions that go into it. It can represent legal issues. But the Three of Swords is a card of heartbreak, of heartache, of emotional pain, perhaps breakup and separation. For some of you, this might be the ending of a relationship or marriage and the legal process that you go through. Not only in terms of emotional pain, but in, like the fair and equitable division of things. It might be relationship oriented for some of you in terms of that. For others of you, justice can represent legal situations. So while it might not be a romantic relationship or marriage that's ending, it could be, a lawsuit or waiting on something. It feels like you're waiting on an outcome or waiting on a decision or waiting to see how bad something is going to be, like how much it's going to cost you or what the loss is going to be. There may be some regret for some of you about decisions in the past, particularly if there's some of you for whom this legal situation is as a result of your own decisions or choices. Let's clarify that Five of Cups, the card of loss, of regret, with the Hanging Man. It's like you're waiting, waiting to see how much you're going to lose or waiting to see how much something is going to cost you. I mean, this is a general reading, so the specifics and details are always going to vary, but what I'm picking up is the fundamental energy. I mean, for some of you, this could, it could just be waiting to see. It could have, we're just about entering tax season. It could have something to do with taxes, waiting to see if you're going to have to pay or how much they're going to take, or perhaps there's been a breakdown of something and you're waiting to see how much it's going to cost you. The Five of Coins, which is a card of insufficiency and lack, could be financial insufficiency and lack. In the Legacy of the Divine, it's kind of an extreme visualization here. It actually shows somebody who looks, very much in need or homeless, standing outside of, what's usually represented as some kind of church or cathedral. The implication being that on the other side where that light is resources and need and people. So it can represent on a financial and material level not having enough and having to ask, having to beg, feeling like you're in beggar mode. Can also represent emotionally feeling shut out, rejected, not good enough, abandoned. And the Five of Swords, which is a card that represents a hard-won victory, winning at all costs. For some of you, I'm picking up that this is about an investment in something you made and it didn't work out. And investment can mean anything from investing in stocks or something, investing in a project, investing in a car, or, something that it's not working out the way that you wanted it to. I'm also picking up, too, a sense for some of you of feeling shut out from your friends or your social circle or your community or something of that sort. It might be, for those of you who may be going through a legal situation of some kind. That's the real test of when you know who your friends are, right? When you start going through really difficult situations. And a sense of waiting to see what the outcome's going to be. Let's move on and clarify the Three of Wands with the Page of Coins. The Hanging Man again. So we have the Hanging Man twice. A real sense of waiting for something. The Tower, unexpected events, often which causes something to break down, to crumble down, to just kind of end completely. Maybe something you thought was solid, stable, was going to last for quite some time. It's like you're waiting for the disaster to happen. That's what I'm feeling here. But you're not quite sure. Give me one more clarification for that. The Ten of Coins, long-term stability and security, inheritance, property. Again, that's what the earth energy area of our life governs. Money, finance, property, real estate, assets, inheritances. It's like you're afraid that something's going to cost you everything, or that something, the outcome of something is going to be a disaster of some kind. Waiting to see what the outcome is, waiting for a decision. And again, because it's a general reading, that can cover a variety of different things, from, legal lawsuits to criminal stuff to, the division of a state. If there's a lot of haggling or people going for the same thing, it could represent, going through a divorce process. A really bad investment that ends up costing you a lot of money. I'm not seeing the worst happen here is the thing, Aquarius. Just the fear of that. But also what I'm picking up too with this middle row of cards is, still the hope that you can recover from it, or it won't be as bad as you think. Let's move on and clarify the Nine of Coins and the Six of Swords, which I really like seeing because, these two cards, Aquarius, are cards of being able to recover, of a path of recovery here. It's transitional energy. It means it's not going to happen all at once. But it does mean that you leave the worst behind you at the end of this, and you're moving on towards recovery. And recovery, again, in the earth energy area of your life, because I feel like for the majority of you, if not all of you, this is either about your money or physical possessions, the things that give you concrete stability in day-to-day life, or it's in another area of life, but it impacts and has a significant impact in, your financial security life here. Let's clarify the Nine of Coins with the Six of Swords. But there is recovery here. It's kind of like you feel like you're going to lose everything, and it does end up costing. I do see a cost here or a loss here, but it's not everything, and there is a path of recovery and healing at the end of it. Faith, which in other decks is the Hierophant card. Here it literally represents having faith. This is clarifying the Nine of Coins. So having faith that you can once again recover, once again become self-sufficient, once again recover that sense of empowerment and confidence. Clarify a little more here with healing, the Six of Swords. The Page of Coins, again, starting over again, messages. And the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is clarified by the Six of Swords. I really like this. And I've often said in the past, one of the reasons I use a different deck to clarify is to see if there's repeating cards. from the original layout, because when there are, that's Spirit's way of kind of underscoring the message there, or, putting your focus on something that needs to be paid attention to. But I like that you have the Six of Swords twice, because this is a card of leaving the worst behind you. You're not quite fully recovered yet, but you're moving into a better place. You're going through a better time. You're headed towards a time of stabilization and reharmonizing. Excuse me. Let's see what the next card is. Ace of Coins. Moving, relocating, a new job, perhaps an unexpected source of money. There's recovery here. There's a path of recovery. It's like, for example, for those of you for whom this is a legal situation and you're thinking you're going to lose so much, there is a cost here. There is going to be some loss, but it's not everything, even though you're afraid of, it's like the Tower card. You're waiting for that to happen, but that's not happening. That's not what I'm seeing here. I'm not seeing that everything is gone. And in fact, there's hope and healing at the end and a pathway forward and through this. So let's end with any final messages, guidance, and advice for Aquarius. The Knight of Coins. Knights always represent movement forward and offers and opportunities for change. The Knight of Coins is the Knight of Earth. He's a little slower than the other knights, but also he's quite steady. I call him my steady Eddie of the knights. He's the one knight guaranteed to accomplish his mission, his quest, his goal, to cross the finish line. Slow but steady, one foot in front of the other. The Nine of Swords. Stress, anxiety, worry, insomnia, fear of the future. Stop that. This is probably my least favorite card in all of the tarot decks, because it represents your mental fears and anxieties kind of rising up and hijacking your rational mind. So where you think about a situation that you're not sure what the outcome is going to be, fear of the future, and you envision the worst possible outcome, and you just obsess and obsess and obsess on it until it starts to invade your thoughts and your dreams and your sleep, and it kind of takes over your brain. That's what the Nine of Swords is, until it's built up so much in your head, waiting for that Tower card to happen, right, that it actually doesn't fit the external reality of the situation, which is what I'm seeing here. It's not going to be what you think it's going to be, that everything's going to crumble down and you can't recover, because after that we have the Ace of Wands, a new beginning, a new path. Let's see what the next card is. Nine of Cups. Wish fulfillment, abundance. So again, just like, I'm seeing this recovery at the end of this situation. That's what Spirit is telling you here. One foot in front of the other. There's a pathway through this and forward. There is recovery here, whether it's, the loss of money, the loss of a job, the loss of investments, going through a difficult legal process, which affects your financial and material the financial and material aspect of your life. There is recovery here, and it's not going to be what you anticipate it going to be, meaning, the Tower, the worst possible outcome that you think it can be. Tower doesn't always mean the worst possible outcome. It represents, a life-changing event that comes in, and often represents the ending of something, but it's major arcana, which is God, Spirit, angels, guides, ending something that needs to end in your life. Maybe there was a fundamental flaw in it, and an opportunity to move forward with the value of whatever learning lessons you brought with you too. So stop, if you can. I may sound a little lecturing and preachy here. Stop envisioning the worst possible outcomes. Stop dwelling on it in such an obsessive and negative way, because there's a pathway through it, and there's healing at the end of this. Okay, Aquarius, those are your messages for the first half of February. I hope you found them helpful, gave you some insight, food for thought. Again, if any of this resonates with you and you would like to reach out for a personal reading for yourself, take a deeper look at something, or as a gift for someone else, click on the description link below, that little arrow. You'll see my email address, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. Feel free to email me. I'd be delighted to hear from you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the February mid-month readings. Stay safe and well until then. I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.